Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Random Code stream. I'm going to be doing more stuff with Advent of Code. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to get even through this part here, but I did think of some things after I was finished with the stream, and I think I'm going to be able to address the problems that I ran into on the last one with it just simply not finishing. Somebody did give me a hint, and even though I hadn't thought necessarily explicitly about their condition that they gave, what I came up with off screen would have addressed it anyway. So at least I think it will. Let me get some music going on in the background here. So that's one thing again that I strongly ask is if I want help, I will ask for it. And even if I'm stuck, even if it looks like I'm flailing, just let me do that. If I don't ask for help, just please refrain from it. If I say, "Hey, I'm completely out of I'm out of my league. I don't know what to do here," any suggestions would be appreciated. Then hints would be okay. I don't want to just flat out, here's the answer, here's how you do it, but a couple of hints would be nice. So again, just something to keep in mind. If you're new to the stream, by the way, and you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. I'm trying to get to the goal of 1,000 subscribers, the first goal, and I'm getting slowly but surely there. So please subscribe if you haven't done that. In any event, what's the problem with what I was doing, or what I am doing? The problem is that I'm basically not keeping track of. Well, one, I think the biggest thing is I'm not keeping track of, have I visited this before, and more generally, have I visited a junction? Because that matters. If you look at both maps, actually, you'll see here that it's possible I'll come up here. I'll notice I can go this way, up here and then here. I can then go here or here. Okay. I can then come here and go, oh, I could go up. No, I don't want to search for a dot. Jeez. Up here. Then left, and then left, down, and I can also go here, and notice I'll start spinning, and I never check for that. I never check to see, have I visited this path before? And so I need to handle that case, because on a short map like this, I'll start branching more and more of these paths. But this one is also chugging along, and eventually it will get up to the top here. Once that happens, then I have this code here to say, yes, I've finished, and I'll calculate that as a minimal cost. The next time I come through, all those ones that are spinning around and never getting out of the maze will suddenly stop, because if your cost is already too much based on one that's finished, then we drop it. And so what's happening is right now I am building these up, but once I hit that finishing one, they all just fall off because I don't need them they're never going to get any better. The problem is if you have a map, and this is what somebody showed, is it this one? Yeah. So it's the same idea, except it's a map that will exasperate the problem even more, because you're basically going all the way up, all the way down, if you follow that a little closely. Let me zoom into that a little bit more. And like in this case, this one just blocks that off, and you'll follow just one path, so it doesn't happen. In this one, you get this where you can get all these circular paths that just keep tracing around each other, and they keep happening so much that it eventually starts bogging this down, and it can't ever get to the finish. It will, but it will take so long to get there. So that's something that I didn't realize that specifically, but what I did come up with will hopefully fix this, because I will be keeping track of previous locations, but I'm not going to keep track of every single location that you go through. Okay. So what I mean by that is, if you look at the, where is this? Yeah, like in this example, you'll notice that if you come here, now eventually you would come up this way and then you would hit a dead end. But the point is, this is a junction, because if you're going east, you're going to hit this point, you can realize you can go north and you can go east. Okay. So that's going to split off two maps, but I don't actually move to those points. I just simply would create a path that I'm now turned facing this way, and I stay facing this way. I add on the number of sections or positions that I move through, and then this one will now move up. Okay. Now I could also say something like, well, that's one possible path, but I was going east. Well, I could still keep going east, so I can keep incrementing. Oh, now I hit a wall. Maybe I would have hit another junction, like here. If I was here, forget the path going up or the path going down. Okay. Because if I came from going north, and I'm going east, well, that's the way I came from, so I don't want to go back that way. That's what I'm doing right now anyway. So I go east. I'd keep just looking and saying, well, I can keep moving ahead, but I can't, to the left and right of me, I can't go anywhere, can't go anywhere. Ah, I can go somewhere. Okay. So this would be another path facing north. Okay. But then I realized, well, I could keep going. Oh, whoops, I hit a dead end. So that one's done, but I will produce a path from here going north. And that's a get next path method that I have. So basically I call these junctions. Junctions are where you can, or branches. Maybe calling them branches is a better thing, but it's that concept of, like, when you're starting here, you move up. This can give you two, a path this way and a path this way. But I could stop there and just say produce those two and then do another iteration, rather than, that might be a little bit simpler from a coding perspective, rather than to keep trying to chug this way, because I'm going to do it anyway. So I might as well just keep the logic simple and just say keep moving ahead until you either hit a junction or you hit a wall. And a wall could lead to a dead end, or a wall could lead to a junction. So, but once you hit that, then stop. Figure out what's around, what is around you and what new paths you can make, if any. And when you hit a junction, like here, what I'm also going to do is mark that that's a position that I've hit. And keep that in what I think I put this in my notes here. So we keep previous junction visits. So if I am going east from here and I hit this, well, what I'm going to say is that's a junction. So at that point, I made a path that's now facing, going to go north, and that's going to go east. And the cost at this point to do one or the other is this. And so I'll keep track of, like, that point. None of these will, because they don't matter. This one, and so on, And so that won't keep just the points where you can do the branches. And so as I'm going through them, a path, excuse me, need some coffee. As I'm going through a path, if I hit a junction that's already been hit, then I think I can use that in my notes here to say, don't evaluate anymore if when you hit that junction, and there's been a cost less than you, don't hit it. Now, I think I also put in here that a path should keep track of all the junctions it's hit. Because if it ever hits that same position, it doesn't matter if like you went up, around, left, and then come back to it, going a different direction. You've already been at that position. Stop. Because you're basically, you spun around, and that's not optimal. Right? Because you're not gonna you're not ever gonna be the optimal path if you're revisiting. You did too much anyway, and another path is finding the better approach. So there's going to be some rework that I have to do here to get this all to work, and that's where I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to be able actually to do this in this, because I got to stop in about 40-ish minutes or something like that. But I want to get at least an attempt to try to finish this. So I was also thinking of the fact that maybe map, the type up here, shouldn't be an array of map items. We should have it being a dictionary of a position and a map item type, and we'll create this enum. And the reason that is because we're going to be looking at positions so much. So doing that lookup rather than doing an array going all the way through, using keys might be a better idea. So let's do that first. Yeah. So we'll add in this. Now we'll break a bunch of stuff. That's okay. And then we'll do this. Okay, so it's 16, 16, right. So let's go look at our parse input, because that's now changed. And so if we find that the map item type is what it is, we now say what we're going to do is when we add map items. Oh. This has to be a dictionary of a position and a map item type. And so what we're going to do now is add this as a position, and then a map item type. Map type, select R. Is it that? I'm always forgetting. It's not choose, it's I'm blanking. I'm totally blanking on the switch expression. Thank you. Direction switch. Map type switch. That, oh yeah, it's early. I knew it was an S word, and I could not get my brain to think about it. So if the map type is switch, we say there's invalid data. I mean, that seems right, because that would be invalid data, and we would never... Wait. There. I am thinking about getting a new keyboard. System I/O. Okay. So that at least transforms that. This is interesting because if I take this out, it's going to say it's not exhaustive. Yeah. So even though you would only come in here if it was one of these three, I get that that expression may not just, like the parser may not be looking at those type of cases with like chars and stuff. But it does make this a tiny bit more awkward. It's like when you do expressions like, or you do things like if some value is not null, then within it, you don't have to use the bang to say, damn it, it's not null. The compiler knows it's not null at that point. In this case, you could arguably say, I know map type can only be of one of three values. So there's no reason to say this because it would never come in here to do that. But whatever. Is what it is. All right, so that just changes this a little slightly. Okay, so now we want to find where the value is equal to start. And what this should give us back is a key value pair. Oh, this should be single, sorry. There. Okay. Paths to evaluate. I'm going to take this out for now because I was only having that in there for debugging purposes. Let's handle the next path logic in a second. What we also want are visited junctions. And we don't have the concept of what a junction is. Existing junction, where did I actually say what this should be? Let's at least say I did that. I did that. Sorry, I'm just looking through my notes again to see, did I actually... So junction is basically... We want to be a little bit careful. Because you could come through the map on the top here and hit a junction going east, and then the bottom goes through and hits it going north. I think you do want to keep the cost there as well, what it took to get to that junction, because that could also be a T, or not a T, that could be a, excuse me, it could be a four-way. But either way, you want to say I came up north through this. And the thing is, if it was a T and I have to turn to go east and the east just keeps going east, when I hit the junction, though, I'm going to turn and say that's the cost for me with my path going here. So if you go east, Um, hmm. Do I really care about the cost of these? I think what I'm just trying to do is avoid hitting a junction that I've already been at. Maybe that's what I should do. And maybe that's going to be simpler. And so a path has existing junctions. And so a junction is really just a position. That's all it is. And so maybe we don't need that here. Private read-only list of positions. Visited junctions. And you're going to say, yep, I'm unused, but that's okay. Oh, we can actually, yeah, do that. Perfect. Okay. And so when we're getting the next paths, we can keep looking for the junction. If we get to a junction, but we realize, hey, wait a minute, we've already hit this, then we can immediately short circuit and say return a mutable path, mutable array of path empty. Nice. Hold on one second while I fill up my coffee here. Okay. So for our current direction, we're going to look east. And what we could do is have our classic while true loop, where we're going to keep moving until we hit a spot that is either a wall ahead of us, which we still have to look to see if there's things to the side or we hit a dead end, or to the side of us there's nothing. So you can see while true, now, if we're going to go a direction, that means that we were told that was okay from the previous get next paths evaluation. If we were going east and we hit a wall, but we could go north, we would have made a new path going north, but we wouldn't have made one going east, so we can assume that we can at least move one ahead. And it's okay to move one ahead because you could have a thing where you move up. Now that could go east again. It couldn't go north because there's a wall there. By your evaluation, there is a wall there. So next position is equal to with, we're looking east. So X is equal to so many things in C# that have been added over the years that sometimes feel incremental, but it's things like this. Just that little shorthand notation using collection expressions. Having withers makes it a little bit easier. They're not big things, but they're just these little things that I think make things a little nicer. So whatever. All right, while true, we want to see var next map item is equal to this dot map contains key of next position. If this map contains a key, then we know that there's something ahead of us. It could be the wall, it could be start, it could be an end, but there is something now ahead at that position. We just have to evaluate now what's to our sides. So if we did find the key, we can say our next map item is equal to that map at that position. Sure, I'm down. that makes a hell of a lot more sense to me. And then we say and next. See, again, these are one of these things that's like small but nice is equal to not equal to a start. Well, then it would just be equal to an end. Yeah. We'll shut you up in a second. Okay, so this is going to look at the next position. If it finds that it's an end, then we're going to say maybe we can't do this. We have to say if it contains the key, this one was saying we just moved incrementally one over. This is arguably simpler. But we're not keeping track of, I don't want to keep track of every single point that you hit. I just want the junctions. I mean, the outer edge is all wall, right? Can't you then either assume that map contains the next position or you pull the map, use get value or default position wall? Maybe. Let me just keep going. I gotta just move, keep focused on this. Interesting. Oh, that's right. That's current. And this is okay. Yeah, it's not exactly the... Sorry. It's not the exact same thing that I'm thinking of in my head. What I'm doing here. I'm saying I'm at a position, and now I'm just going to look each direction. And if I find like a junction or whatever, this is... The way I want to do it is slightly different. I want to say, I've been told to go in a direction, so I want to keep going in that direction until I can't anymore. Or I find a junction. And or. So... I think I need to rethink this. I need to say, if this current direction is equal to direction east, then what we want to do is kind of what I'm saying here. And so my next position would be 1 over. And yes, I am going to keep looking east. If we accidentally run into the end at this point, we could do this, right? I mean, that's... because we're going to keep at moving over. Number of turns would just be number of turns here, because we didn't actually turn. We found it by going east. Our current position would actually be next position. Current direction would be east. And its finish would actually be true. Now, I'm special casing here, but oh, sorry. Try get value. There we go. Okay, cool. So, okay, we looked to see, did we find the end? That's simple. Else, what could also happen is the thing in front of us going east is a wall. In that case, oh, okay. Else, look for paths above, left, and right. That makes sense to me. And then, is there a wall ahead of us? Because that determines whether we break out of the... Actually, we should say break. Here, before I forget. That would be bad. We could arguably add to it's arguably a junction. But we don't have to, we've already incremented this here. If there is nothing so we moved over and now we're going to look above us with y equal to next position y plus minus 1. Which is cool. Because what we're going to do now is add that as a visited junction. We're going to give a new path where we traverse there. The number of turns we got to turn. Our current position is next position. Our current direction is now going to be north, and we did not finish. Okay. Var found. Is this playing? It is not playing. I thought I had this on repeat. Repeat on. Play all. Come on. Found junction. And now we want to look south. Y plus 1. We traverse a position, well, whatever that is. Number of turns we have to turn, and we're going south. Okay. If we didn't find a junction, now we do have to look. Next map item equals. Then we do this. And we know we're done. Actually, our found map item is false. We don't care. We don't care what it is. Could be a wall. Could be an end. Doesn't matter. Okay. But we found an end. We found this direction is same thing here. because that would have found the wall item and we break out. If not, we got to assign these. Don't forget to do that. And this actually happens outside here, not in here. So now next position is equal to next position, with the X being the next position plus 1, next position count plus plus. All right. Let's go through this with east. So if we're going east, we're going to move 1 ahead. We don't know if we found a map item or not. And a map item can be an empty next direction. I guess that's maybe not the right name for this, but I'll work with it. We then look to see, did we find start? Did we find, which going east, you'll never find it, but whatever. We find something that's going to stop us. If it's end, then we can say we found an end position here, and yep, we found a map item. That will break us out. Otherwise, we look north and south to say, is there nothing there? That's a junction. We're going to add it to our visited. Only if we won't add a new path if that's something that we've already done. If not contains next position, then we do this. And in actuality, that makes me think this should be a hash set. And so if this visit junctions add, there, that looks a little bit nicer, because add returns a Boolean. And so if it's already present, then we don't create a new position, or we don't create a new map. Same thing here. If there's nothing going down, that's fine, but then we have to do this. We don't need to add it again. Found a map item. We can now say we're going to turn south at this position, wherever that is, and we finish. We don't finish. If we found a map item, that could be something ahead of us. That could be we found either one way to the north and south of us, a way to go. We break out. Otherwise, we have to move ahead again until we either find something that stops us ahead of us, or we found a junction either going up and or down. And so now we just need to do the rest of this for the other ones. It's a little it's a little convoluted, but I think this gets us what we're looking for. And these are going to be else now. These aren't ifs. So we do 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so we did going east. Now we want to say else if we are going north. Let's say south, because I like going clockwise. South. So the next position is going to be with y equal to the current position's y plus 1. Same logic here, whatever. Except we found it going south. Actually, This is also code that you never would hit. And now that I look at this isn't actually right. If we found if we find a finished item, we can break. I mean, that's just... You're completely done. There's no reason to do the rest of it. Otherwise, we don't want to do this as an else. That's the trick. Because break, just you immediately get out. There's no reason to do any more evaluation. However, if the next map item was a wall, you still have to look north and south. Okay. The reason why south, you're never going to come to the end from the south. And so this is a case where you can just say we found and actually let's take these out because these aren't correct yet. We'll add them later. We'll never hit the end going south, so we don't need to check for that. Okay, but we still need to do this. Now if we're going south, we need to look for paths east and west. So east would be x plus 1. So that's east. North and south. West is x minus 1. This would be going west. The next position would be this. Y plus 1. There. So we're going to now go west. And this is also a condition where you would never hit the end going west. So we can kind of do what we did here. Gotta watch my time here. I'm getting close, so I'm gonna try to get this. Right, we still found a map item. So the only way you can ever hit the end is if you go east or north. Okay. South and west. So this is going to be -1. Look for paths north and south. So north, if we find something north, and we haven't visited it, we say we're going to go north. Yep. This is south, we go south. Otherwise, we are going to xx minus 1 because we're going west. And then north can hit the end. And this can only be north, so this is the only other option. So we say my minus 1. Let's grab the code from the east. So if it's an end, we say we ended. We do want to say we go north. Now we need to look for paths. Just say north here so I remember. East. South. West. And north. So we do want to look next position east and west. If we find those, that is east, that is west. Otherwise, we need to go north, which is y minus 1. There. Let's review this real quick. So what this does now, this thing on a path down here, we have the current cost. That's still the same. That doesn't change. We have the hash set of all of our visited junctions for our current path. Okay. Might want to be a little careful with this, Jason. Because when we make a new path, we're saying it's the same visited junction hash set. And so all these are going to be referencing the same hash set, and we don't want that. Let's change this a bit. That's not right. What am I doing wrong here? Oh, duh. Yeah, now you can... Nah, okay, that was just... Sometimes our property syntax I forget. So we got the visited junctions. Now that's going to break this here, but... If it doesn't contain that, then we can say visited junctions equals Oh, can't do that, huh? Oh, yeah. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, so we come up here, we say get net pass if we'll say visited positions. Damn it. Equals visited junctions dot add next position. Huh, that's actually kind of nice. It doesn't tell you whether it's edited or not. Okay. If this doesn't contain that, and if I remember right, that is a class. Shit. Well, no, that should be fine because you're getting your own hash set. I mean, that's the whole point of this, is that it's immutable. What I have can't change. But what I'm giving you is a new version of that. That's your own copy. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I'd already started fixing that one. Wait, what did I... Okay, so now I think we got it. I think. It's a lot of code, but I think this is going to handle it. So we say we're going to go east. And when we start, we have the path that has a map. It hasn't gone anywhere. It doesn't have any turns. Now, this is not true. We could also be going north. But I think we're okay. If I go look at my map code here to get the next path, if I said I was going east, well, I'm going to immediately run into a wall. Okay, which means I found a map item. But I'm still going to look north and south, so I'm okay. Because that's right. The problem states you have to be going east to start. Okay. There. Okay. So we get the next paths. We're still going to be looking for finished ones. Paths themselves will short circuit if they've already visited a junction. And I haven't put in the thing to say, by the way, if you've crossed a junction that already existed by something else and your cost to get there was cheaper, but I think putting this in so that we don't revisit paths will short circuit stuff and make it simpler-ish. This should be okay. Let's look at good new paths. So if we're going east, we plus. And if we found the end, we break out immediately by adding that as a new path that's finished. Okay. We do add visited junctions as well. We don't need to do that here because we're going to do that when we add the new path. Okay. We look for north and south. North is above us. And then we don't have it in the map. And we haven't visited that before. We found a map item. We add that as a new path to visit going north. We also look south. We're going to go south. If we... No. If we found a map item, we break. Let's change these quick because those are all wrong. Whoops. Come back up here. Okay. Otherwise, we're going to keep moving east until we can't. Now we go south. South is plus. Now we can't hit an end, but we did find a wall to start, so we found a map item. But we still have to look east and west. So we look east. We don't have that. East, number of turns, because we had to turn. And that count. Found a map item, so we break. Otherwise, we go south, which is plus y. West is minus x. We can't hit the end going west. So we look north and south. North is that. South is that. West is minus. Is going north. We could hit the end going north. So we do log that as a new path that is finished. And that's minus 1, yep. East is plus x, that's minus x, that's minus... Do we actually get the small one to pass? Nope. Jesus. This is why we have tests, though, folks. Because apparently, I don't know what I'm doing. I need to stop. I can't. A lot of this is now just going to be debugging. I'm sure I just did something that was completely just beyond stupid, and I've completely missed it. Let's just see if we can. So what's our current direction? Going east. We're going to look there. We didn't find anything on the map going east. Is that true? That is true. But we look north. No, I don't need to see that input right now. The next position, that should be 2. Zero, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. We shouldn't have found something above, right? So that's X, 2 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Should be 13, right? What is it? Oh, well that's a problem. That is a problem. Because the first time you do this, you do have to evaluate, could you go north and make that a map that already has a turn built in? This is true because what this is actually looking at is 213 X is 0, 1. It's actually looking right here and it's looking north. And so that's why it doesn't find anything. And south is going to be the same thing. Do we find a map item? False. So now we move ahead, position count. Do we find a map item? No, we shouldn't. And we don't find a north or south. Now we do find something. We say it's a map item of end. Oh. I just realized what happened. We're going to... I just realized. I wish it wouldn't have skipped like that. Because what happens is we say the minimal cost is long max value. Well, hello. Long max value. Gee, what does that look like? What does this number... look like from our tests. I don't know. Gee, they look the same. So that's the problem, is when we start, it did the right thing. It moved over, came to here, realized, but we needed to go evaluate north as well. So we need to, when we start, we need to say start path. You know, like how many, can I go east and can I go north? Because it's possible you could have it going east, you could have north. If you have it neither, then, well, guess what? This whole thing just says you're already blocked at the beginning and you're screwed. So guess what? Oh, well, I guess I could. Okay, let me make some notes here real quick. We need to create start paths. Plural. You could go east and or west. Or technically neither, but that would suck. If we end with the cost equaling long plus max value, that means the map doesn't let you finish. That's a, you know, so throw an error. So, okay, I think I'm going to stop for now. I might do a stream tonight because I think like I'm close. I'm going to commit this. I'll make those corrections in the stream. I'm not going to do them now. That's why I'm going to put that stuff here. So I'm going to stop this. I'm going to stop the stream. If this is your first time watching the stream, please subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. I'm trying to get to that first marker of 1,000, first goal of 1,000 subscribers. So please subscribe. I think I'm getting really close to this. I think I'm getting really close to finally solving this part 1 and being able to then move on. And I really want to move on. So hopefully I'll be able to do that in the next stream and make some more progress. So again, thank you